And then Aditya Chopra jumped into the pool and he rescued me.
Oh.
I would have been dead, or I would have harmed Rishi ji unknowingly that day. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. My father lost his job and we literally didn't have food to eat in the house. But I met Rishi Kapoor ji there.
Oh, on the sets of
On the set. He didn't
okay.
know me. He walked up to me and he said, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" So I said, "I'm Bakhtavar Khan and I want to work in movies." He said, "What are you doing here? These guys will ruin your career. Go and meet Yash. But I said, I don't know Yash Chopra. How can anybody know that that movie is going to be a super hit? But I was not the first choice for Tridev. They had point blank said no to me. I was told horrible things about my son. So I think after the divorce, we became friends, which during our 25 years of marriage, we could never be. Yash Chopra ji had told me, don't get married, you're making a mistake. But I didn't listen to him.
Hi everybody, my name is Dishya and you're watching News 18 Showsha, and today we have with us Sonam, the beautiful, beautiful star. Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
I know all of us know you mostly, at least me growing up knew you as the Oye Oye girl. And today it feels an honor to be sitting in front of you, talking to you about your life.
Thank you so much.
I want to start off by asking, why hasn't there been more of Sonam on the screen?
Because I gave up work at the age of 17, got married at the age of 18, and had a kid at the age of, before I turned 21. So I've been, all over the world trying to figure out things in life, and then eventually I came back to India.
Looking back, do you ever feel that there was a regret? Like now
Yes.
it's been a very long time.
Yes. No woman should give up work, no matter what. Whether she is married to a pauper or she's married to a billionaire, a woman should never give up her work because she's giving up her identity. So it's a big mistake. But nonetheless, I have my son with me and regrets are useless. So moving on, I'm going to keep a lot of things in my mind and I'm going to be very mindful.
It takes a lot of confidence and guts to go back to what you've left. Like I've always get this statement that, the place that you've left, why do you want to go back to that? Try something new, try something different.
I have a very good answer for that actually. My answer to your question will be, I'm back because work never gave up on me. I gave up on work. So I've come to hold my work's hand once again and walk around this path which I've chosen.
Let's go back to the very beginning. Let's go back to how you started your career in Bollywood. You also come from a very filmy family. So was acting always a part of your plan, even at that age?
No, not at all. I worked because of my family conditions, and my father lost his job and we literally didn't have food to eat in the house. And I was asked to start working again. And as luck would have it, I had flunked my 8th standard. So the fear of going and seeing my juniors coming with me in the same class, I said, forget it, I'd rather become an actress. Otherwise, I had big hopes. Like, I wanted to be a air hostess, I wanted to be a teacher. So this way, I also taught myself how to speak English. I used to be totally vernacular. I hardly knew English because we were from a Hindi, Urdu background. That's why I never judge people who, can't speak English very well, because you can teach yourself anything you want. So my 8th standard failing turned me into an actress.
And how did the offer come about? Did you approach someone?
No. I did a small photo shoot through a relative. And those pictures were shown to Feroz Khan Sahab. He loved the pictures and he took a short screen test of mine. And I still remember the song which he took the screen test, or you call them auditions these days, was this song from Jabaz. And he told me to sing the entire song. And I sang like for 5 minutes, he stopped and he said, "You're in." So I said, okay. But he was making a movie called Yalgar at that time, but that got shelved. And he was making Dayavan. So he called me to his office and he told me, look, Bakhtavar Khan, my name was that then. एक तो अपना नाम मत बदलिएगा बिल्कुल भी, आपका नाम बहुत ही अच्छा है। एंड सेकेंडली, मैं आपको इस पिक्चर में नहीं ले सकता, बहुत बहुत माफ़ी चाहता हूँ। मैं आपको विनोद खन्ना के साथ स्टार नहीं कर सकता। विनोद खन्ना जी, यस, बिकॉज क्योंकि एज डिफरेंस बहुत लगता, मैं 13.5 साल की थी। एंड ही सेड अगर मैंने आपको उनकी बेटी के रोल में लिया, इफ आई टेक यू इन द रोल ऑफ हिज डॉटर, यू विल गेट टाइप कास्टेड कम्प्लीटली। एंड आमला जी हु डिड द रोल ऑफ द डॉटर, वो बहुत ही अकम्पलिश्ड एक्ट्रेस ऑलरेडी थी साउथ में। तो वही स्क्रीन टेस्ट मैंने चुपके से यश जी को दिखा दिया, फिरोज खान साहब को बताया नहीं मैंने। और यश जी सॉ द स्क्रीन टेस्ट, ही सेड यू आर ऑन, एंड दैट्स हाउ आई साइंड विजय। एंड उसके पीछे भी एक किस्सा है। मैं एक्चुअली एक सेट पर गई थी किसी प्रोड्यूसर से मिलने, सॉरी आई डोंट रिमेंबर द नेम नाउ, बट आई मेट ऋषि कपूर जी देयर.
Oh, on the set.
On the set. He didn't know me. He walked up to me and he said, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" So I said, "I'm Bakhtavar Khan and I want to work in movies." He said, "What are you doing here? These guys will ruin your career. Go and meet Yash Ji." But I said, "I don't know Yash Chopra." He said, "I will organize a meeting." And he was like a saint.
That is so
literally
sweet of
like a
him.
saint. And I can't thank him enough. My family and my parents are no more, but he just changed. I mean, he was like a saint who came into my life and changed my life completely and for the better. और कभी भी मैंने उनके साथ 3 पिक्चरें की, कभी भी उन्होंने मुझे एक वर्ड नहीं बोला, देखो मैंने तुमको पिक्चर दिलाई, या देखो तुम मेरी वजह से काम कर रही हो. Never. That's why I want to work with his son Ranbir Kapoor. I have a intense liking for Ranbir Kapoor because of his father.
Were you in touch with him after you quit cinema as well?
No, I was not in touch with anybody. I was looking after my son. He's got special needs. He has got autism. तो मुझे बिल्कुल टाइम नहीं मिला. बस अब टाइम मिला है अपने बारे में सोचने के लिए, तो सोच के अब आगे बढ़ने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ मैं.
On one side, Ferozi had told you not to change your name. On the other side, I'd read that it was just she who told you that, listen, let's get you a makeover.
He said, ये बड़ा नाम नहीं चलेगा आपके लिए, आपको बदलना पड़ेगा नाम. You'll have to change your name. And he called me Sonam. और उन दिनों क्या था कि उनको ये नाम पसंद क्यों आया, ये नाम बहुत अनकॉमन था उन दिनों, बट उनको अनिल कपूर जी की बेटी का नाम बहुत पसंद आया. तो उन्होंने मुझे बोला कि मैं ये नाम रखूँगा आपके लिए. और आप यकीन नहीं करेंगे, इन दोनों नामों का एक ही मतलब है. Sonam and Bakhtavar both mean lucky.
And how were your memories of working on Vijay? How was, like you were still a teenager and going on sets with so much Showsha happening around you. Do you have memories of your first
Of course
movie?
I do. Of course I do. I remember shooting in Hyderabad, and I remember I was vying for a role in Tridev where another actress was approached. And they had clearly told me, you're not going to be doing this movie, we've taken somebody else. And I remember we were in this new hotel which was under construction, jahan picture ki shooting bhi chal rahi thi. Very, very, very posh hotel. And I was sitting in a makeup room, and there were other actors, very senior actors sitting with me. And suddenly the phone rang, and they called me to the phone. We used to not have mobile phones then. And when I got a call, they said that you have been signed on for Tridev. Can you come tomorrow for the Motherhood? And I started screaming, yay, yay. And one senior actress said, what is the big deal? Why are you screaming? I said, I've signed Tridev. And I never knew that, obviously, how can anybody know that that movie is going to be a super hit? But I was not the first choice for Tridev. They had point blank said no to me.
Do you know who was the other person?
Of course I do.
Do you want to tell? Okay. So when Tridev happened, I think it blew up so big for every actor that was involved in the movie. But how did Tridev change your life? Did you come across, was it difficult to even step out because you become a poster girl, like people started noticing you and knowing.
Oh, I was already a poster girl. I was a bikini girl.
You were?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know about
Yeah,
this.
and I don't know how to swim. That's the best part.
Oh.
So all my bikini shots were taken in the shallow.
Oh. Could you tell me a little more about this? Because I had no idea.
I have got water phobia.
Okay.
And there was a time when Yashi told me, you're going to be wearing a swimming costume, which was decided from before. I hope that you're fine with it. And I said, absolutely fine. And he told me, please learn swimming. So we went for the shoot. I never bothered to learn swimming. And we had a shooting in Bangalore in this hotel called Windsor Manor. And it was one shot where Rishi ji is walking from here and I'm walking from here. And we both have to jump into the pool. Now, I didn't bother to tell anybody anything. So we both jumped into the pool and it was one shot. Otherwise, we would have had to dry our hair and take it again. And I jumped into the pool and I didn't know how to swim. And I was like literally grabbing Rishi ji below with me. And the best part is that people thought that it was a real shot going on. And then Aditya Chopra jumped into the pool and he rescued me.
Oh.
I would have been dead, or I would have harmed Rishi ji unknowingly that day. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I can't thank Aditya Chopra for saving me. But after that, I got so terrified that till date, I don't know how to swim. So whatever shots after that happened, Yashi said, you are a useless girl. You've not learned how to swim. What are you doing? But what, really got me is that the entire unit was there. The entire set, the entire unit was there. But it was Aditya Chopra who realized that I was actually drowning. And he jumped with his clothes and his shoes and everything on.
They must have thought it was just an improv that was happening.
I didn't mind wearing a bikini and, shooting. No problem. But I minded that it should not be more than 3 feet. So all my shots, whenever I have worn a swimming costume or a bikini when I was working earlier, it was always on the shallow part of the pool.
How did Tridev, the whole experience must have also been very different because there were so many stars involved. There's so much happening on sets.
I was so used to working with stars because my first movie had not only Rishi ji, Anil Kapoor ji, the late Rajesh Khanna ji, Anupam Kher ji, Hema Malini ji. So by then I had gotten quite accustomed to working with big stars because my first project was that. But yes, Tridev also, sometimes they say ignorance is bliss. So I really didn't understand the importance of Naseer Saab then because I was a school-going girl and I only watched commercial movies and he was more in the art, art cinema.
Yeah.
So I just shot like it was no big deal. And everything was fine and he was so helpful. He never belittled me. He never told me, what are you doing? And, you're a kid and you're not giving this shot correctly and you're not doing this correctly. He always was so cooperative. And he never threw his weight around with me. Never. I would love to work with him again. And Ranbir Kapoor also. Huh?
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
With actresses of that era especially, I've read so much about them talking about their contracts and how they've, they used to not get equal balance of pay. And then the contracts would also have a lot of clause that they would get to know much after they're on the sets. Did you experience anything like that?
No, I was never signed on a contract, neither by Yash ji, by nobody. And when you're talking about pay, I was more interested in making money than to sit and make statistics who's getting paid what. I was interested in going on the sets, doing my job and looking after my parents. That's what I was. And my mother used to tell everybody, ye meri ladki nahi, ye mera ladka hai. This house also, I stay here because I bought it from my own hard-earned money when I was probably not even 16.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have an emotional attachment to this house.
If I may ask, and if only you're comfortable, what was your first ever paycheck?
My first ever paycheck?
From an acting job.
My first ever paycheck was 50,000 rupees. That's the amount of money I was signed for and they gave it to me in one shot.
That's for Vijay?
No, actually. I faced the camera before Vijay in a Telugu movie called Samrat.
Okay.
And Samrat was a Padmalaya production.
Oh.
Padmalaya production made movies like Himmat Wala, Tofa, very big production house. So they were starting a movie and they approached me and that was my first movie actually. And I got 50,000 as my paycheck. I needed the money. So we requested them, can you give my entire remuneration because I had to look after my parents. So we were good to go. I got my 50,000. I got the lead role. They took proper rights from Dharmender ji for making Betab. So I was playing Amrita Singh's role, and Ramesh Babu, who is Mahesh Babu's elder brother, he was playing Sunny Deol's role. So there was this huge set in Ooty, and I was like, wow, you know. And the first thing I did when it was possible, was bought a house in Ooty. I have an emotional connect with Ooty.
It's also a very beautiful place.
Yeah, it is. And the people are also very nice.
You went on, did these movies.
I did 30 on movies.
You
30,
did
35.
35 movies as the count that I had. After 35 movies, when you got married and you decided, okay, you know what, now I'm going to turn my back against it. Was it an overnight decision? Or
Yes, impulsive.
It was impulsive. And how long did it, you know, stick with you that, okay, you know what, I've decided, I'm not going to turn back now?
I would like to say that once I got married and once I had my kid, I didn't have time for anything. My concentration was on my son because I knew something was wrong with him, and that disturbed me greatly. But I don't know what it was. Till years later, actually, when we went to America and got him diagnosed, that we were told, and I still remember it was my birthday, 2nd of September. I had just turned 24 or 25, where I was told that my son has got autism. Yeah.
It must have been very heartbreaking.
Such is life.
How did you deal with it?
Like any mother, it doesn't come with a manual. But I have noticed one thing about me. When things get tough for me, I get tougher. So that saying really applies to me. And I'm best when I work on my own problems alone rather than discussing with anybody. I'm a loner. I love to talk, laugh and joke and meet people. But where my problems are concerned, I like to deal with them by myself because I hate pity.
I can only imagine, because at that point there must have not been too much awareness also about autism.
There was no awareness.
And medical help also must be very limited.
Don't get me started on that.
Like,
I was told horrible things about my son. But
do you want to delve in? Only if you're comfortable.
No, I think I'll pass that one.
Yeah. But then, you know, gathering that courage to take on the, you know, shunning everybody, shunning all the noise, did it take an emotional toll on you?
Yes, of course it took an emotional toll on me. Any mother would. If I say didn't, I would be lying. And it took a huge toll on me. But luckily, due to reasons, my ex-husband got attacked. And because of that reason, we left the country. So for about 15 years, I lived out of suitcases trying to educate my son. So that was very good because abroad, the awareness for autism at that time was very high, especially in America. I've lived in LA for like 2-3 years. I've lived all over the world.
So I think then during this whole process, when you were also taking care of your son, did it ever occur to you that, you know, somewhere you could also join in causes or help bring in awareness
I
in
didn't
India?
have time. I didn't have time.
Today, if you get a chance, would you want to help in any possible way?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Without doubt. I would like to help every mother who has not only a kid with autism, but with any disability. Any disability.
Looking back, if I'm like, you know, touching on a very emotional love, you can anytime please stop me. Looking back, you know, when so much is being said against and about the situation, about your son, about the whole thing that had happened, are there things that still somewhere in the back of your mind haunt you, play somewhere, or you've managed to fortunately move on?
If you have to be strong, you have to stop the white noise. You have to let go of the white noise, which basically means people talking anything they want to, without any reason, without any meaning, and without any knowledge.
Were these any of your close group of people who did this?
What?
Who said all of these things?
No.
Or did you have a good support system at home?
I had no system. I was my own system.
Okay.
I'm always my own system.
You know, it's very inspiring for me because after all of this, you managed to, bring in all your courage, move on from it, and then you also tackle to tackle something like a divorce. It's not like a taboo in today's world, but that is also like it feels there's a weight that is put on you again after you're separating from your partner. You've had such a long marriage. How did you deal with that?
Look, I'm great friends with my ex-husband. He's a genuinely brilliant director and a good human being. But sometimes a marriage doesn't work out. You don't have to be the bad person. You don't have to be the villain or the vamp in a marriage for it not to work out. Sometimes two people just don't gel. And when the time is right, we moved on very amicably. I talk to him every day. He comes over here and I'm connected to him. I have great respect for him. So I think after the divorce, we became friends, which during our 25 years of marriage, we could never be. So whatever happens, happens for the good.
Now with so many avenues open for you, so many opportunities available, like an OTT, there is TV, there is films. In OTT itself, you have series and films. What is that one aspect that draws you the most?
Hira Mandi kind of series. That grandeur. Then at the same time, I love Jamtara. Totally different. So this is what OTT brings you. It brings you, it's like a menu card with all exotic dishes on it. And you can choose whatever you want. So I'm very interested in OTT and of course movies also.
And have you reached out to any of these filmmakers?
Not as yet. Okay. But I do have certain people I am wanting to work with in my mind.
You want to list them out? Maybe we can help you.
Yeah, why not? I would love to work with Sanjay Leela Bansali. Yeah. And I would love to work with actors like Ranbir Kapoor. Ranbir Kapoor is my default kiddo because of Rishi ji. And I would love to work with Naseeruddin Saab. And I would love to, maybe if I get a chance, work with Naseer Saab again. I would love to work with everybody, be it Kartik Aaryan, anyone. They all are doing such a fantastic job.
Do you ever think that you could just drop in a message to even say an Aditya Chopra, given your history with YRF, to just hey, let's just, I would want to work with you.
That's a good idea. I might take your suggestion.
Please do.
But yeah, OTT is something I'm very interested in, and movies which are released for the web, that's also, OTT, that would be also very, very interesting. But I do want to work with directors which are like making things differently. Like I'm very fond of Malayalam cinema. I think they make fantastic movies. And I'm very up to date. I keep watching whatever comes on OTT. And sometimes, of course, I do go to the theatre. I watched Animal in theatre. I think it was a brilliant movie. And I don't know what was the big deal about it. If in Hollywood they can appreciate a Joker movie, a movie called Joker, and it's supposed to be a cult, why can't you accept Animal in the same way? I don't like this bias thing, where, oh my God, Joker is such a great movie and look how many Oscars it's got. I'm sorry, that person in the movie was a very toxic person. And here we have Ranbir Kapoor, who's doing such a brilliant job. And all we do is talk badly about the movie. I mean, I just don't get it.
The time that you were also popular, I think that was the time that the three Khans were rooting in Bollywood.
They had just come in when I was giving up work, yeah.
So after you gave up work, were there any offers to work with either of the Khans that came on your table?
Of course, not before I got married. I got offered a movie opposite a very big actor. And I couldn't do it because I was getting married.
Do you want to reveal who it is?
Yeah, sure. I was offered Salman Khan's Baghi. I was offered by Yash Chopra ji Aina, which eventually Amrita Singh ji did the... Yeah. I think she got a Filmfare Award also for it. Yeah. Yash Chopra ji had told me, don't get married, you're making a mistake. But I didn't listen to him.
He's very close to you. Like the way you're talking about him, he feels like he was a father figure and a mentor for you.
He was much more than that. He was like a saint. He was like a saint. He and Rishi ji.
And how long ago was this advice given to you? Like just immediately after you decided to get married, or did he wait and then?
No, I had given everybody a 1 year notice when I turned
Mhm.
17, and when I was dating my ex-husband now, Mr. Rajiv Rai, I had given everybody a 1 year notice period to complete their movies, basically.
Mhm. So at that point,
Yeah.
today, if either of the three Khans, the movies that turn up, do you think that you would jump on board immediately?
Of course.
And
I
what-
love all of them. Especially Salman Khan is my favorite. I really like him.
So, on a concluding note, if they were looking back, if there are movies that you would want to do of other that have become popular over the 3 decades that you were unfortunately not around, what would those movies be?
I want to talk about movies which I want to do now.
Please do.
I would love to do something like what Shefali Shah is doing. I would love to do what Neena Gupta ji is doing. I would love to explore. I would love to play my age. And I'm just so excited that I don't have one, I don't have a channel vision where I want to just play this role or that role. I just want to play a role which I can resonate with and without which the story doesn't move. That's what I want.
And now that you mentioned also that you're a big fan of Salman, Big
Huge.
Boss, the new season of Big Boss, can we see you come in?
Oh my God.
Because
You caught me off guard.
Because
I didn't even
remember
think about
reading
it.
that you were offered Big Boss OTT, but it didn't fall in place. So now that Salman is there, there's Big Boss.
You've got me thinking.
Why not?
You've got me thinking.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
talking
much.
to me.
Thank
This
you
was
so much.
lovely conversation. You gave
Thank
me so many insights of things that I had no idea about. And I hope to see you on the big screen very soon.
I also hope that's.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for hosting us. Thank you.
Thank you.